Vintage 44. Rat Vintage 44.
Welcome back to another Ratface 44 Reviews. My name is James, and today we have G.I. Joe Classified Series, Darklon. So let's get this started! Big shout out to DJC Collectibles for hooking me up with Darklon. Best place to get G.I. Joe Classified Series. Shout out to my friend Luke, who picked it up and dropped it off yesterday night. So let's get into it. So Darklon, I never had this when I was a kid, but I do have the vintage one, so there will be a vintage comparison later on in this video. Sorry for the glare. And one thing I've noticed when I picked it up, the knife is loose in there somewhere. It's kind of stuck. But plain old packaging, just like before. Cobra Darklon. I think he's the cousin of Destro. Pretty cool. I love really cool artwork. I like the purple background, really pops. Camouflage shirt, brown pants, same colors as the vintage. Got a QR code, battle stats, and there is a nice piece of artwork here. Digital render of Darklon with some crimson bats, I believe, back in the background there. There is a Iron Grenadier soldier. Darklon is part of the Iron Grenadiers. So there's a logo for the Iron Grenadiers. Really cool stuff. Boring stuff on the bottom. Number 155 in the line. So let me get Trusty Scalpel and we'll open them up. There's Trusty Scalpel. So let's break the seal. So I don't know if many of you have known that I have recently moved, so everything is pretty much still a disaster in my place. So here's a Cobra logo on the back. And there is the loose knife. So we might as well start looking at the accessories. So here is the cool blade. Here's the word I like to use, ornate. Black handle, cool details. Check that out. So here's Darklon in the package. Let's take out the freaking accessories. I like how it has an extra head. Pretty freaking cool. We got the sword, we got the sheath, and the figure. Boom. Sorry for the noise. Gonna do this quick and dirty. Check out the figure right away. Awesome. Quick little shot of the figure, and then we'll continue with the accessories. So here's a nice small revolver. Pretty cool pew pew. Just a black plain old one. And here is the craziest weapon, one of the craziest weapon in the G.I. Joe Real American Hero. I have the vintage one, also will have that to compare later on. This looks like some sort of Gatling gun or flamethrower. Looks, there's like a canister here, a scope. Yeah, very practical. So let's look at this sheath here. Has a nice paint application, kind of a leather, like orange leather kind of thing on it. You can see that there's like stitching here and a nice design silver paint application here with a peg and a silver kind of tip here. There is a hole at the bottom, and this is like in kind of like a gray plastic. And here is the sword. Cool red jewel there. That probably has something to do with his ancestors. Like Destro, he has a red medallion. There's a red paint application on the tip here. Very cool design. And it looks like there's like a serrated kind of edge here too. Very cool. And what I was going to do earlier is put it in the sheath, and it stays in the sheath really well, doesn't fall out. And here is the extra head. Looks like his tongue is kind of like hanging out. Man in the Iron Mask, like Destro. That is weird and creepy. I don't know if I will use this. I believe you could army build Darklon and make him a bunch of soldiers with this mask. Very cool. Check out that design. Pretty neat. Cool. And here, let's get into the figure. So let's go right towards the head. Check that out. Very, very retro, vintage looking. I wish my camera would focus a little bit better. So there you go. He has these kind of like fins on his head. Got a silver kind of mouthpiece. It looks like he has yellow eyes, I believe. Let's get a really close-up shot of his head. Check that out. He has like these green paint application under the eye. It looked very, fix that light a little bit more. There you go. He has these yellow eyes. Pretty freaking brilliant, I might add. And it is a mask, so you can see the straps here and the gray paint application. Moving down the figure, he has one floating shoulder pad. He has this harness. Check out that green and black camouflage shirt. Kind of tiger stripes that go all the way around the figure. Very cool. And we have double jointed shoulders. We got lots of motion with the head. Moving down his arm, you can see he has these kind of gauntlet type of bracelets on his wrist, and these black type of gloves, black and green. Very cool. Check out this harness with that yellow paint application. Some pouches. He has a belt here, and it's kind of molded in, or is it stuck to the diaper? Yeah, I think it's molded in, so he has a holster here for the handgun. And moving down, he has these type of reddish maroon pants. Got the orange. Very cool. More pouches. And he has these crazy, wacky freaking boots. Check those out. That looks like maybe the knife goes into the knife sheath on his boot. And it looks like there's grenades here or some sort of ammunition here on the boot. And they are shiny shin guards and very, very shiny boots. Check that out. So overall, this is probably top wacky figure in the classified and G.I. Joe line. So let's go over some of the articulation. We got double jointed elbows. Got a lot of motion out of that. I believe that the body is from Nunchuck. I would have to check that. Drop down hits, of course. They don't go down very hard, very low. Check that out. I'm pulling. So they are very shallow drop down hips. Double jointed, pinless knees, pinless elbows. Awesome. Very cool figure. He's scary and wacky. That's at the same time. So I like Darklon. Like I said before, I never had this when I was a kid, but I like this figure as an adult. That's why I have the vintage one. I bought that, I think, a couple of years ago. I figured it's kind of a necessary thing for a G.I. Joe collector to have Darklon. I always like Darth Vader. It's Hasbro's answer to Darth Vader. But let's load them up. So there is a peg, so you can put the sword on his back. That is freaking cool, man. I'm starting to get really impressed with the quality. Wiggle test is a little wiggly, but nothing out of the ordinary with classifieds. We got this kind of diaphragm and peg system here in the waist. Right on. So let's switch out the head. Very easy to take the head off, of course. A small peg, very shallow. Let's put the extra head on, and that's creepy. Awesome. I don't know if I'm going to use that. It's very loose to take off and on. The extra head. No need to heat this one up. This one is, you know. Oh, my bad. Sorry for knocking the camera here. So look at that. I tried to bend the knee and the freaking boot came off. The whole leg came apart. That is crazy. So I eat my words here, and you're probably gonna have to heat these knees up because this one is locked and the boot will just pop right off. Yeah, they are locked up, so definitely recommended to heat up the knees here before bending them. So let's continue with the loadout and load them up. So knife sheath, keep that in there forever. And you got the revolver in the back. I'm hoping that it will fit in there. It's a little awkward. This is the first time I've seen this mold, like at least this waist part here. I don't think it comes with any other classified, and I'm having problems putting it in. It's a little tight. Does it even fit in there? This is crazy. Looks like it's maybe kind of bent, so you're gonna have to like pry it apart here. There it goes. That was a pain in the butt. And we have his giant weapon. I believe I have doubles of these in my vintage collection. All right, so there you have it. There, it's in his hand. Fits pretty easily. I'm gonna put the sword sheath on his back, and that is it. So just be aware, this thing just pops off super easy. It seems like the boots are made of a little bit of a softer plastic than the rest of the legs. So we're having like a you know, a Zorana situation here with the leg with Darklon. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do a vintage comparison with Darklon. Here is my vintage Darklon. So let's do an overall color comparison. So, man, just like all the other classifieds that were that I usually compare to, like the colors are always a little bit more muted on the classified figure than in the vintage. I don't know if how I feel about that. I kind of wish that they just kept the brightness of the colors. It would make this figure pop out a little bit more. Just a quick little side note of an opinion that I have about this. There's no reason to mute the colors. Just keep the bright colors, and that would be very cool. There's no need. But let's go over like the same exact figure in 6-inch form, 1/12 scale. More elaborate boots, but still very cool. Check that out. Knife sheath. The gun is pretty much exactly the same, minus the cable here we have on the vintage one. But overall, it's the same exact figure. The head sculpt, you know, this one looks more like a shroud, I would say. But it's pretty close. You know, there's way more detail in the classified, like usual. But overall, you know, this is a wacky figure, and I really like it. And there you have it. There is my comparison with the vintage Darklon. So there you have it, guys. There is my review of Darklon. I hope you enjoyed my unboxing and this crazy figure. If it's your first time here, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're coming back, thank you for watching. I really appreciate all my subscribers. Yo Joe and Cobra!